to the Hightower Habitat reopening. Thank y'all for being here. Glad we have some sunshine and the rain has passed. My name is Heidi Baxter. I am the chair for School Council this year. School Council is a group of parents and teachers and our principal, and we are committed to school improvement. This year for School Council's project, we chose the Hightower Habitat. We wanted to bring some new life to it. What we did is we planted some of the perennials up front. We're looking forward to seeing those grow in the future. We cleaned it out. We had lots of kiddos helping us and some dedicated parents cleaned and scrubbed, and we added some mulch here, just trying to bring back some new life to the Hightower Habitat. This unusual year was really the perfect time to reopen the Hightower Habitat, add some joy to our teachers and our students. We know that it's a part of our school's history, and it honors our first principal who laid the foundation for our incredible school. We're looking forward to the students utilizing this space for learning and for fun for many years to come. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Tony Obanoff. I'm currently the principal at Flippin Elementary, but I had the honor and pleasure to work at Rock Spring Elementary with Mike Hightower. He hired me over the summer right before Rock Spring opened. So even though we had a short period of time to work together, I learned so much from him. He was such a pleasant person to work with. He was humorous and always telling stories about the farm, but he loved students and he wanted the best for them. All decisions he made had students in the forefront, and I just really enjoyed working with him and learning from his experiences. I will always treasure those memories, and I know so many other people do as well. He is truly missed. What a great leader, teacher, friend, and Rock Spring Roadrunner. Thank you for inviting me to speak a little bit about my experience working with Mike Hightower. Hightower Habitat is such an awesome place for students to utilize in their learning outdoors. I know that was a dream he had, and so I'm so glad that you guys are able to keep it going. Thanks.
Hello, I am Tracy Blackburn, previously Tracy DeSario, who was the principal when we dedicated Hightower's Habitat originally, and I'm honored to be back here for this special day today. I remember when Miss Ryan and Miss Partain and many of the other teachers, many of the ones that are here today, had the idea from the garden club. They came to me with this dream of an outdoor classroom with the grant they just received from Lowe's. And I knew that their vision would cost way more than the amount of the grant received. However, that would not be an obstacle. With the dedication and blood, sweat, and tears of the garden club, community partners, students, and families, the Hightower's Habitat was built. Starting then, I discovered that this project represented heart and hope. The ground was leveled, boards were nailed and painted. The area was beautified with plants, all by the heart and soul of the Rock Spring community. When it was time to have our grand opening, it was clear we needed to dedicate this to the heart of the man who opened the school, Mr. Hightower. Over the years, this has continued to be the heart of our school, with a number of exciting things happening here, including a range of project-based learning projects, creative writing, places just to come out here and read and work and learn with friends. I am moved by the ongoing commitment of this community to the Hightower's Habitat, and I look forward to the future that this will bring and the memories that will be created for the current and future students of Rock Spring Elementary.
Hello, My name is Julie Hightower. I'm here with you today because Ms. Partain has kept me informed with news from your school because my husband was chosen to be the first principal of Rock Spring Elementary. This outdoor classroom is dedicated to Mike Hightower because he was a hero. Not the superhero kind that does some superhuman thing with a big wow, but the everyday kind that does 3 things every day. He kept learning. He did simple, kind things. He loved nature and people. When he got cancer and passed away during the first year he was principal here, Miss Ryan and others had a vision to honor Mr. Hightower with the classroom to show children the joys and wonder of plants, animals, and the exploration of science. To rededicate this classroom, I will ask you teachers, staff, and students to also do these 3 things every day. Keep learning. Do kind deeds. Love nature and people. And you'll be a hero too.
I am Bill Hightower. I will publicly admit I'm the eldest brother. Is this thing on? I probably don't need it, but
Go ahead.
and the youngest brother, and I'll admit it, he's the youngest. Brad is here also. First off, thank you. Thank you for rededicating this park. We were here at the original dedication, and it's hard to believe it's been 11, 12 years now. I can't remember when the original dedication was, but it was right after Mike was gone. So that's been 12 years. You know, Mike loved the outdoors. He loved his animals, which I have today. And this is a true story. Our mother, when we were all very, very young, had us tested on our IQs. One of the sons, the 3 of us, one of the sons actually tested genius. Brad, I hate to tell you. Wasn't you and it wasn't me. Unfortunately, we were not the geniuses Mike was. We miss him every day. I visit with his cows every day. Actually, these are descendants of his cows every day. And thought I'd share with you some of the wisdom that he imparted to me. First off, I worked in downtown Atlanta on the 44th floor of a skyscraper. Could see all of Atlanta. I could see Stone Mountain, Kennesaw Mountain. And one day he goes, "Yeah, those are nice views, but do they compare to the view I have?" And he pointed across the pasture, much like that one right there. And the answer was, not exactly. That one's a whole lot better. So he always had a view of his office, which was the pastures and his cows, that I won't ever forget. And I enjoy them every day. The other thing he taught me, he said, all things green are welcomed on the farm. That included poison ivy, thistle, and kudzu. But he really was serious when he'd say all things green are welcome on the farm, because he loved the outdoors and he loved the greenery, and I know he would love this. Again, thank you very much for rededicating this park. Julie's right. Education, education, education. Teach the children to learn every day. And that goes for us too, and how important that is. And this is a great place to learn in the outdoors. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ashley French, and I am one of the original teachers here that was hired by Mr. Hightower. And sometimes people come into your life for a moment, a day, or a lifetime. It matters not the time they spent with you, but how they impacted your life in that time. In 2008, during one of my very first meetings with Mr. Hightower, he expressed to me how important it was to him that our new school support Relay for Life. He shared with me why he thought the event was so important and how he enjoyed attending with his wife, Julie. Neither of us could have imagined the impact that conversation would have on my own life and the lives of the students at Rock Spring Elementary. Neither of us could have imagined that just a few short months later, our Rock Spring family would lose our dear friend, Mike Hightower. Mr. Hightower planted seeds in many of us during our time with him. The seed he planted in me was to never lose sight that one person really can make a difference. With that in mind, and with Mr. Hightower never far from our minds and hearts, the Rock Spring family has dedicated itself to raising money for the last 13 years in the fight against cancer, as we have honored Mr. Hightower and supported students, parents, our faculty and staff, along with their family members who have been affected by cancer. During that very first painful year, we rallied together as Hightower's herd at the annual Henry County Relay for Life. The cowbells were rung, our students were decked out in their favorite cow prints, we still have them around the school, and our team proudly wore these bandanas and waved our cows that we made proudly as a symbol of love for a man who led us all to be together as a school family. Hightower's herd has changed and evolved over the years, but one thing has never changed. We will never give up our fight to see cancer end. We will never give up our desire to see our loved ones, like Miss Davis, celebrate and more birthdays. And we will never, ever lose sight that we are a Rock Spring family, the loud and proud Hightower's herd. Our very first kindergarten class and the original members of the Hightower's herd are graduating high school this year as the members of the class of 2021. We have asked these seniors to reflect on their time at our school and share a favorite memory. Here are a few. My favorite memory of Rock Spring that will stay in my mind forever is my very first principal, Mr. Hightower. He greeted me on the very first day of kindergarten. I remember how kind he was and how much joy he spread to everyone he interacted with. And another student shared, I'm not sure if I would call this my favorite memory, but it is my favorite life lesson. It was really sad when Mr. Hightower passed away. I was very young and I didn't really understand what was going on. But for all my remaining years at Rock Spring, I was a witness to how the faculty and staff turned a tragedy into something good by supporting Relay for Life and building Hightower's Habitat. I will remember that forever. And lastly, my favorite memory of Rock Spring is the building of Hightower's Habitat. I love that something permanent was built to honor someone whose dedication to children built the school we all will forever love. And just today, it was just one of those ironic things. When Miss Hightower left our school, she gave me a chair that was in Mr. Hightower's office. It's in the media center. And a student was sitting in it today, and he said, Miss French, this chair has the best vibes. I said, yes, it does.
Thank you. Has brought up something about what I was going to say. I've said before, I watched the school get built brick by brick because I would have worked for Godzilla to not drive to the other end of the county. But as it turned out, I wasn't working for Godzilla. I went to interview for my job here. On a cold January night, I was working at Cotton Indian and loving it, but it's 15 minutes to my house when you're not building a bridge. And people had told me that Mike and I would not get along. We spent an hour and a half probably talking about Julie and about Billy and about the cows and about me letting the pony run out and Julie not liking it that he let the cows out in the barn, whatever. So we got along really well. And I think I'll close with, if I get emotional, Mike's last thing he said at the first time we all met and sent us off to work was a story about geese and how geese fly in a formation so that first goose is the leader. But when the leader gets tired, they don't leave it behind. They move it back and they support it, and someone else moves up. And that has been our school. Doesn't matter how tired we get, and it hasn't mattered if we get in a bad mood. There has been someone that we've remembered the legacy we have. And that's how Mike sent us off to work. And I will never forget the last time I saw him. He came to say goodbye, and I made him sit down and read a book to my kids, and he did. And Ricky Jewell was with him, our head custodian. And as I walked Mike to the door, he's told me, don't ever forget the geese. I hadn't brought up the geese, but there's two that visit my paddocks every night, and I feel like it's Mike. And so we're not ever gonna let each other down. We may not like it,